So we've been talking a lot about stupid things the last year. I'd like to change things up the next few weeks and talk about some smart things you can do instead of only the stupid things. So this is a super riveting topic, and hopefully I can make it interesting in the retelling. Insurance. Specifically, I wanted to look at scenarios where organizations might expect coverage, but where that coverage might actually not exist. Before diving into it, I have a bunch of lawyers I need to make happy. You see, it's very, very important that you understand I'm not a lawyer. Now, I'm not sure how you'd mistake me for a lawyer, because I mean, have you seen me? Vlogs are vlogs. They are not legal advice. Think of them as a good way to get your mind juices flowing. Okay, so apparently I'm not supposed to say mind juices anymore. It's not on brand. The point is I'm going to be talking about some things that you should be thinking about. But just because you should be thinking about these things does not mean you should act on anything without consulting your legal counsel. Starting at the top, we'll begin out with the standard CGL coverage form, meaning paperwork. That is something I barely understand, but with the work of qualified writers and a working teleprompter, I can pretend that I've done the work to explain how paperwork works. Stop saying works. Standard CGL coverage form. It's got exclusions. The very first of these exclusions is a bodily injury or property damage expected or intended from the standpoint of the insured. That's a mouthful. And it's a long, complicated way of saying they won't insure acts that are done on purpose with the intent to cause harm. So no fight clubs. But what about axe throwing, you might ask? And if you're not asking, why aren't you asking? It's always best to ask about axes. I'm doing it again. The point is, there are axe-throwing restaurants now. So, to explain further, say you've got an axe bar. And seriously, that is my favorite word I found in December. Axe bar. So, you've got an axe bar, and you've got a waitress or waiter or general service people. And they need to train your clients to throw axes at targets. That's not an action that's being done with the intent to cause harm. In fact, kind of the opposite. But then say your employees get mad at a guest. That guest didn't tip them properly. So they go and throw axes at the PT Cruiser in the parking lot. Well, that was very much trying to cause harm. Injuries sustained during the course of training to throw axes at targets might be covered, but injuries sustained during viciously attacking PT Cruisers, less likely to be. Now, say you hire the long presumed dead, previously frozen in ice, ancient Scandinavian hero Egil Skallagrimson to teach people to throw axes. And he explains during his interviews when you hire him that he fully intends to teach these milk-sop restaurant goers a thing or two about Viking valor, and heavily implies during his interviews that this includes using guests for target practice. Well, hiring Egil Skallagrimson after he's had 1,000 years for his brain to ferment is probably negligent. And you might be in trouble on a negligent hiring count all on its own. While when he inevitably throws axes at PT Cruisers, while your insurance is not going to cover the damage to the little shrimp mobiles, it will cover you against negligent hiring and retention claims. Wow, David, that was a fever dream. Yeah, I know. Look, I'm trying really hard to make insurance exclusions interesting. And what I'm driving at with my little story about Vikings who hate little shrimp mobiles is this. Insurance companies sometimes will invoke exceptions, meaning they won't cover something. This might apply to an injury that was expected or intended. It basically means you can't intentionally plan on causing harm and expect that harm to be covered. This could apply to Viking smashed vehicles or more realistic forms of workplace abuse. Now, your insurance may still cover you for negligent hiring practices, but that's only going to comprise part of the cost of the intentional harm. If your organization is engaging in practices that entail unique risk, such as hiring Egil Skallagrimson, it's best to confirm that you have insurance that provides coverage in any contingency. But come on, who hires or even can hire Egil Skallagrimson? Well, it doesn't have to be a Viking hero. There are tons of legitimate and moral reasons why you might have additional risk. For example, maybe you have a prison to penthouse program to get inmates gainful employment. That's a worthy calling, but it comes with additional risk. Or say you're hiring someone who left their previous job following unsubstantiated allegations of workplace harassment. That also comes with additional risk. In both of these circumstances, you'll want to talk to legal counsel and make sure your insurance company is providing the right coverage for your specific situation. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time for our next vlog on insuring your insurance.